can't tell you how many times I relapsed. I can't tell you how many times I've been to detox and rehabs and sober livings. Like, I don't know how many because it's been so many, you know? I only went to prison once though, so I only have a minute, but this was important for me to get on my channel today. So something that I am super passionate about is exposing my time in extremist, like 12-step recovery. I used to call it like big book thumper, like fundamentalist recovery, because it was like the super hardcore interpretation of the 12-step. But honestly, it was like extremist. It was even beyond being a big book thumper. And a lot of times when people say like, hey, like the 12 steps didn't work for me, the program didn't work for me, you often hear people say, oh, try another meeting. Not all groups are the same. And, you know, while that can be true for some, I think it's also really, I don't really even know the word to use in this case, but it's kind of like dismissive of somebody's experience and saying that like, oh, you just didn't go to the right meeting. Like, not knowing, like when someone says that to me, they don't know that I used to sponsor women. I used to take women through the big book. I used to carry the message to detoxes. Like, I put so much of myself into that program and it still didn't work, because while 12-step programs can be fantastic for some people, I do feel like for those of us with dual diagnosis, like who have, you know, a co-occurring disorder, that 12-step can also, like hardcore 12-step can be really detrimental to our recovery. Like, for example, like my mental health, my anxiety, my depression, my ADHD, all of that stuff was treated like character defects that I just had to pray to ask God to remove from me, you know? And it wasn't necessarily the program's fault that it didn't have everything that I needed for recovery. But when you combine the program with the rehab industry, and if you think about it, you know, whether it was my first time at rehab or my 30th time at rehab, I left with the same aftercare plan. Get a sponsor and work the steps and go to 90 and 90. Like, that was, no matter how many times I did that, that was always the same thing. And it's like with anything else that we have going on, whether you think that addiction is a disease or not, with any sort of mental health thing that you have going on, do you think that if you repeatedly went to get treatment for anything, they would continue to give you the same exact aftercare plan? Like, no, of course not. And it's just, it's you know, it's super frustrating. And, you know, I get a lot of hate on TikTok, not so much anymore, because, you know, with the way that the TikTok algorithm is, you do eventually get matched up with people who think like you know, but I still do get some hate. But in the beginning, it was just a whole lot of, you know, all the same thing. It was always that if I had something to say about the program, it was that I didn't work the steps, but I did multiple times, or that it was that I needed to try a new meeting. And like, I tried meetings in Texas, Massachusetts, Vermont, New Hampshire, and like in multiple towns and counties within those states, because I was always being sent somewhere, you know, for rehab. And yeah, I want to break like that. I just feel like it's just so when people say like it works if you work it. Like, not all the time. Not all the time. It doesn't always work if you work it. And then a lot of times, like, you go and, you know, you work the program and you still relapse, and then you go back and they say, well, you must have left something out of your 4th step. Well, there must have been something that you weren't honest about. Like, there was always something that you did, and it was never that just maybe the program isn't the right fit for you. Maybe you need to try a different path of recovery, because guess what? There's a shit ton of them. There's many paths of recovery. There's many different organizations. There's many different kinds of program. There's mat treatment. There's using plant med. Like, there are so many different paths. And it's just mind-blowing that with all of these paths that are available, we continue to push the same one, you know? No matter how many times a person has been to rehab, like, so it's something like 95, it's either 90 or 90% of rehabs push a 12-step model, which, while I know 12-step has been great for millions, it's been not great for millions more, because anywhere like that I've read, it's anywhere between a 3 to 10% success rate, and 10% is on the really high. The most, the base average in the research that I've done has been 5% success rate. And when you tell people that, when you tell certain 12-steppers that, they say that's the success rate of the people who didn't work the steps. No, no, that's not what it says. That's not true. So anyways, I need to get like my thoughts and stuff organized better when I make these type of things. Like, this was just me thinking that, you know, I want to let people know what I'm about. Like, I absolutely am going to talk about plant medicine and recovery, and just different ways to utilize it, or different ways that I've utilized it. It's not something that I really recommend, but just because everyone is so different. There are so many noises going around right now. I'm like, whoa, I can hear like somebody vacuuming outside in the hallway, because I live in like an apartment building. Then I can hear that. Okay, all right, sorry. Regroup. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, like, it's not something that I would ever say, hey, try plant medicine, because I really feel like that is a journey that somebody needs to get to on their own, because it could be detrimental to somebody's recovery, you know? But the fact of the matter of, like, the bad, I can't talk. The whole thing is that everybody's recovery path is valid, you know? And everybody has like their own journey. And sometimes, you know, we see people and they end up picking up again, and the only like, that's just, it's part of it, you know? Like, it doesn't have to be part of your story. But I can't tell you how many times I relapsed. I can't tell you how many times I've been to detox and rehabs and sober livings. Like, I don't know how many, because it's been so many, you know? I only went to prison once though, so that's good. But yeah, I don't know. Sometimes you might just get like these word vomits that really have no direction, and this is just me working through it, you know? Like, I keep telling myself, I'm like, okay, they say like your first 100 videos aren't gonna be that great. Or I think I heard that like one place. I think one place said like 20, like 50, but I think my first 100 aren't gonna be that great. Okay, I hope that they get better, but, and I'm not counting shorts. Shorts do not count to that 100. So I don't know. But anyways, thanks for watching. If you made it this far, you know, I plan to upload multiple times a week. I don't know exactly what the days will be yet. I'm still trying to figure everything out. But I'm here. Like, I got a whole lot of shit that I've been waiting to talk about, and that I do talk about on other platforms, but now I can like really talk without being constrained to 3 minutes, you know, which could be a good or bad thing. But anyways, all right, have a good day.